Hello there, and thanks for choosing RwandaTV News. I am Isabel Masozera, and it's Friday. We have a guest anchor today, an incredible lady who you will know a little bit more about later on. But for starters, she is Tariro Washe, a Zimbabwean filmmaker and actress. It's good to have you today.
It's good to be here. Thank you, Isabel.
All right, but for starters, here are the headlines. Now, survivors of the FLN attack here in Rwanda and the relatives of those who were killed have met in Nyungwe Forest to remember those who lost their lives. Also still ahead, for the first time in Rwanda, tractors will be assembled to help farmers maneuver their daily work. Thanks for choosing RwandaTV News and for choosing RwandaTV. I am Isabel Masozera, now top of our edition. Survivors of an FLN attack here in Rwanda have met to remember the lives that were lost in Nyungwe Forest. And this comes more than 4 years later after the attack occurred. Seljan Hore has the details.
This particular attack occurred on an isolated part of the road that runs through the Nyungwe forest in southwestern Rwanda, with the FLN terrorists targeting innocent travelers. As I entered the deep part of the forest, I found that the insurgents had set alight a bus belonging to the Omega company, a new bus. At first I did not understand why they would set it alight, and then I realized who they were, because they were not even wearing proper military uniforms. They had set up a roadblock, and after weighing my options I decided to ram it, because there was no way of turning around fast enough. The moment I hit it, they started shooting. Then one of them hit my bus with a rocket-propelled grenade, and I lost control and ended up in that ditch on the side of the road. They continued shooting at us, so I broke the windshield and exited, my passengers following me as we ran. Later we returned and found some people had been killed in their vehicles, but we were able to return only after finding our own soldiers to protect us. Many of those who did escape have been scarred both physically and emotionally for life. The first thing I heard were the bullets, and it sounded like they were pounding on the metal frame of the vehicle. We all ducked for cover, and the girl I worked with, called Alice Kaitesi, who was sitting next to me, got hit in the leg. When we got down the slope, I realized that the bullet that had hit her had gone through the door of the vehicle, then my own leg and to her, so I was far worse off than she was. She used her clothes to wrap my leg and then ran off as the bullets continued flying. I was left lying there.
I should have been killed, but because I had a child with me, I kept ducking down as low as I could as the bullets flew past me and the windows shattered. Eventually, one caught me in the shoulder.
The survivors and the relatives of those who died have now returned to the spot of the tragedy to remember those who did not make it. My life should have ended in that ditch, but it did not, so I have decided to come back to honor those who died. We won't forget them.
We thank God for protecting us, and may those who died rest in peace. We also thank President Paul Kagame and the government for the support we have continued to receive through the years, especially the healthcare and visits. I believe I should thank them.
12 people died in the attacks of Nyungwe and Mgeye in Rusizi district of the Western Province. 20 of those involved in the attacks have since been sentenced to prison, including Paul Rusesabagina, who was the head of the MRCD coalition, who got 20 years behind bars, and Calixte Nsabimana, aka Sankara, the former spokesperson of the FLN, that got 15 years.
Now moving on a lighter note, for the first time in Rwanda, tractors will be assembled to help farmers maneuver their daily work. Now, according to the managing director of Volkswagen, the assembled tractors are an answered prayer because they won't be needing to buy them. Now, Jessica Agasaro has more.
The managing director of Volkswagen in Africa said that next year their factory will start assembling tractors that will be used in the farm and more cars that will be using renewable energy. This is the first time this company will be assembling tractors that are electric. As for the farmers, the tractors will be near them and they won't have any shortage because they are rechargeable.
Bazazikoresha ari uburyo bishyure gusa igihe bakoresheje.
They will use it, but pay only when they use it. Then they will find a place to install electricity, a place to collect crops, and other services related to agriculture. Once we prove that it works, we will deliver it to all of Africa. This is the first time Volkswagen is going to do it worldwide.
Volkswagen started working in Rwanda in 2018, and they have assembled more than 8 different types of cars. Some of them are used by individuals, others are used as private taxis known as Move. The rest of them are used at the airports, and they are planning to add the number of cars so that some of them may be used in the upcoming airport in Bugesera to make their work easier. The managing director of Volkswagen in South Africa, Martina Bien, who is visiting Rwanda at the moment, thanked Rwanda's willingness to facilitate investment and that they will carry on putting new cars on the market that respond to this region's problem.
To come to Rwanda, so Rwanda for us, in our view, is one of our electric lighthouses in Africa again, together probably with Cape Verde and Mauritius, because these countries have already put in place a very, again, future-oriented and progressive policy in terms of running your country mainly with coal, for example. So a very forward, future-oriented renewable energy policy, also supporting electric vehicles to come into the country. And so that's why we're looking now into the next step of electric mobility in Africa here in Rwanda.
People have complained about the price of the Volkswagen cars, and some people can't even afford them. But the director of Volkswagen in Rwanda has explained that their prices are very fair, especially since they have an option where they can buy them at a half a price after being used only for 2 years, as he explained the manager of Volkswagen in Rwanda, Serge Kamuhinda.
I also wanted to add another point about the issue of affordability. There is something else we do to increase affordability. The cars that we have in our various mobility services, we usually own them from not longer than 2 years, and then we sell them as used cars. And this comes at almost 50% reduction of the original price. And yes, and many people have been using that opportunity to buy either Terramons, Amaroks, and I can make an announcement that this is going to come for the Polos as well. So we are going to progressively also sell the Polos that we have in ride-hailing to replace them with newer Virtus. And this is also going to help people get cars that are going to be very affordable. So we found that we have this virtual cycle where we have a new car that is locally assembled, that is used either as a retail car or as a mobility services car, and that becomes a newer used car, and so we perfect the cycle in that sense.
The factory of Volkswagen has announced that they will bring new types of cars in the next year, especially electric cars. Also, there are still some negotiation between the factory of the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure to see how they can provide public transport of the population. Jessica Agasaro, RwandaTV.
Thank you, Jessica. Now, deputies who previously represented Rwanda in the East Africa's Legislative Assembly's 4th term are happy with the outcomes from the collaboration with their counterparts from the EAC member states. We have the details with Prince Manzi.
The deputies point out that their 4th term leaves a lot for Rwanda and the East African community, including laws established and some amended, and also sharing skills and development changes specific for each of the member states.
I don't want to talk much about this because we all know, but I want to thank the 4th Assembly for supporting our Speaker, because even if he has all those skills and character and all those things we mentioned and others mentioned, without the support of the members who he leads, it would be very difficult.
We have been able to pass laws. We conducted oversight activities. We have done also sensitizations in different forms, in different ways in all partner states. We have achieved a lot thanks to the contribution of each and every one of us.
Some of the deputies who represented Rwanda in the East African Legislative Assembly this previous term that had the chance to be re-elected in the next term that will start its activities next week, state that they will put more effort in raising awareness of opportunities available in the East African community that might impact their development.
For instance, in business, sometimes people are not aware that one can transport across borders products with the worth of not more than $2,000 without paying as long as they were manufactured in East Africa. There are chances, including the collaboration of customs office, large markets. We are willing of informing the population about this, especially women.
In the conclusion of the East African Legislative Assembly fourth-term activities, Speaker Martin Ngoga iterated that the collaboration as well as working hard resulted into achieving great things.
I wish to register my profound gratitude to the entire membership of the Fourth Assembly for trusting me with the responsibility of being the Speaker. You have also provided me unwavering support. Together, we built and consolidated consensus around critical issues, and we supported each other during critical moments. It has been truly a team effort.
It is expected that starting Tuesday next week, 63 deputies from the East Africa Community member states will commence their activities, including 9 deputies representing the Democratic Republic of Congo for the first time in the East African Legislative Assembly. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Prince. Now moving on from regional matters to leisure. Workers in the hospitality and tourism sector appreciate the virtual reality technology initiated by Rwandan youth, and they're saying that it is helping them to promote their products. Prince Manzi continues.
This technology makes one observe distant things as if you are there and in every aspect, only on your computer or phone. Musa Shumbusho, the Chief Executive Officer of the iNorios, a company that developed the virtual reality technology, states that it has contributed in the development and exposure of the beneficiaries.
Virtual reality technology we have developed, so far it has increased customer satisfaction in the tourism and hospitality sector. It has contributed for hotels and travel agencies. It has contributed to their exposure to the booking rates of their clients. The bookings have been increased. So I think to us, this makes us achieve our goals, because we are here to make people make more sales and also integrate this technology in their marketing strategies.
Amina Nijena, who established an online platform, Bookly Africa, that connects tourists with the benefactors of touristic services, iterates that this technology provides the exact image of how things are.
So using virtual reality, it's a value added to what we do in tourism and hospitality, because we are able to make people have the interaction and increase the experience we have using the service. For example, when you're using a VR, like you want to book a room and you're using a VR, you'll be able to navigate and show exactly what you do as the end customer. We have this thing like when you're using the images, we don't have the clear things. The images are more edited and you can't really find exactly what is in the room. But when you're using the VR, you'll be able to navigate for yourself and you can't have lies.
Mugisha Davison, the managing director of One Life Tours, a touristic facilitator company, points out that this technology is of great importance.
It helps it informs in decision making to the consumers or the end users. So that's another, they're making a decision. Should I visit Akagera? Should I visit Nyungwe? Should I visit Rwanda? Should I visit? Because at least they have comparisons when they use this kind of technology. The other thing is about it saves on cost and time. Okay, instead of somebody going to do research somewhere, paying more money to just go and do a feasibility study, it saves on their time and the money they should pay by just using this kind of technology. And lastly, I think is online visibility presence is important nowadays, because it saves you on everything and without incurring more costs or using a lot of effort.
Apart from being used in tourism sector, this virtual reality technology is going to be used in supermarkets, whereby buyers will be observing the products they want and order them online. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Prince. Now, the Imbuto Foundation, through the I-Accelerator initiative aimed at developing various youth projects, awarded 4 top projects that shed light on some of the solutions to the problems that arise in reproductive and mental health. Adams Kwizera filed this report.
Vigomba Guhinduka and Outburst are among of the 4 projects which were awarded in the Innovation Accelerator initiative by Imbuto Foundation, where among all these 4 projects are expected to provide awareness on the healthcare services.
The main issue is that there is no SRH dialogue in families between children and parents, even youth in general. So my project, it tackles about children for 4+, 12+, and 18+. It contains those contents. So I hope that it will reach out to the targeted group with the collect information about SRH information, which will be easy to create those dialogues and talk about it freely.
The Deputy Director General of Imbuto Foundation, Umutesi Geraldine, noted that the objectives of the I-Accelerator initiative have been achieved on a large scale, especially to that these projects have been useful in supporting the government in reproductive health campaigns and mental health as well.
Giving others jobs, and also to make sure that they also have decent jobs. And as I explained in my remarks, the solutions reached over 1 million of people in terms of content development, and also over 186 are now employed by these solutions. So you can see that really it has been impacting the young people.
In the 5th phase of I-Accelerator, there were 10 projects that were competing, where most of them were focusing on enhancing family dialogue on reproductive health and mental health, as they also helps to increase people's knowledge about mental health and playing a role in creating awareness on mental health issues. Adams Kwizera, RwandaTV News.